The All Blacks wrap up their week away in France's wine capital as we take a look at how they've made the most of their longest ever break between World Cup matches. Kia ora, I'm Chereè and this is Beyond the Game. Welcome into the New Zealand Herald's Rugby World Cup video news show. Well, we're here not only at the stadium 10,000 fans flocked to earlier in the week to catch a glimpse of the All Blacks, but also where the sides just wrapped up their training in Bordeaux. New Zealand Herald Sports Chief Writer Liam Napier joins me. Liam, a bye week for the All Blacks, but certainly not a week off.
No, it's been a bit of a mix and match week for the All Blacks. They got out on a boat and went swimming, some of them. They went to the vineyards and they had a promo in Paris yesterday. But there's been a couple of hard trainings in there, and we heard that tensions were flaring behind closed doors. They really knocked each other about and tried to improve their game. So you certainly wouldn't call it a holiday.
Yeah, good to see though they did get a little bit of time to unwind in between. Now the All Blacks do have a number of injured players still on the side. How beneficial do you think this extra week will be for them to get ready, get in shape, hopefully for that next game against Italy? It's
a really pivotal time in the tournaments. The All Blacks missing 4 frontline starters, 3 in their starting pack with Tyrell Lomax, All Blacks captain Sam Cane and Shannon Frizzell, who we heard from today, and Geordie Barrett in the back line. So an extra week to heal those bumps and bruises and try and get back on the pitch. If the All Blacks can mend those guys, it'll make a massive difference to the way they perform thus far in the tournament.
The All Blacks are already looking at that next game. Despite the extended break, we heard Aaron Smith earlier this week say it's a do-or-die game for them. What do you think the balance has been like, though, with an extended break? Normally they've only got a week to sort of prepare and look at their next opponents.
Yeah, this is really survival mode for the All Blacks. It's uncharted territory. They'd never dropped a World Cup pool match before, so they're certainly building this Italy game up and paying them a lot of respect. I think the extra time is unusual. It's allowed them to look at Italy's game and really analyse what they're going to bring. They're quite flamboyant. They're unusual. They play a lot off the middle of the park. They've got a New Zealand coach in Kieran Crowley who's transformed them over the last couple of years. So I think this extra time's allowed them to look at Italy and look at themselves and put a lot of time and effort into their preparation, because if they don't get it right, they'll be going home.
Certainly. Well, we heard from forwards coach Jason Ryan and Brodie Retallick earlier in the day, so let's take a look at what they had to say.
After this week's training, and as I said, around the quality that we've had, I think it's put a little bit more pressure on us, which is exactly what we want. Like I said last week, that heading into this test match, it's a big one for us, no doubt about that. I think the way Italy play, and they play really quick, the breakdown is going to be quite important for us, so what that mix is will have to be right. Their set piece stuff, they've had Neil Barnes over, right through Six Nations from New Zealand, so we have to prepare accordingly.
It's going to be a big game in terms of the pool play, and I think their attack, they've got a very slick attack, like the way they kind of pop up outside each other and have forwards running down. Like, we have to be aware there and making good decisions defensively, but also it's around, we need to get our game right in terms of set piece and our ball carry to hopefully nullify that. So I think it's not too different to anyone else in terms of how we'll approach it, but obviously there's going to be a lot riding on the outcome, that's for sure.
While the All Blacks have had this week off from game time, at least, there's been some other really interesting things happening in the World Cup. We saw Fiji beat Australia, and now also France potentially losing their captain for some time. Do you have the latest on that?
Yeah, Antoine Dupont, probably the best player at this World Cup, suffering a potential fractured jaw, and it was in quite a nasty incident, a red card that could put him out for a month until the semi-finals. So France have already lost their key playmaker Romain Ntamack, and now to lose your captain, your focal figure, real inspiration. Everywhere you go in France, there's billboards about Dupont. He really is the man of the moment, so that's a massive setback for them. Really interesting to see whether they can reach the semi-finals and then whether he comes back. And yeah, as you mentioned, there's been plenty of other action happening with Fiji pulling off their upset, and they'll be watching Wales-Australia with interest this weekend. and big implications for the All Blacks in the Springboks Islands. The winner of that match likely to play the All Blacks in a quarterfinal.
Yeah, that's coming up very quickly, and I'm sure a lot of Kiwi fans will be keeping their eyes on that game too, because as you said, that could determine who we face. So I'm guessing you're going to be watching it pretty closely as well.
Yeah, we'll be parked up to witness that for sure. It'll be a real ding-dong battle. The Springboks naming 7 forwards on the bench, so no secret about where they'll go. And yeah, the All Blacks will be tuning into that, because while they're focused on Italy, they will have one eye on a potential quarterfinal. And just the way that this World Cup is shaped up with the pool and the top 5 nations on the one side, it is extremely brutal with 2 of the top 4 nations going home at the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it'll be a very interesting one to watch for sure, and the Herald Sport team will be keeping you up to date with those results as things unfold. Thank you so much for your time, Liam. We'll be hearing from you again next week, and we'll be keeping you up to date throughout the week when the All Blacks are back in Lyon ahead of that match against Italy. So we'll see you next time on Beyond the Game. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. To stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald, click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here, and head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.